All right, you fuckers, ready to dive into some serious bullshit.
Always up for some good bullshit.
Yeah, well, today's bullshit is brought to you by the Nobel Prize. Everyone pretends to give a shit, but let's be real.
You only hear about it when some washed-up celebrity loses their shit about not winning, right?
Bingo. But today, we're taking a sledgehammer to this whole Nobel Prize in physics thing.
Sounds like fun. Where do we start?
Let's start with the man himself, Alfred Nobel. Dynamite inventor, Peace Prize creator. What the fuck was that about?
Well, he was a bit of an enigma, that's for sure.
Enigma my ass, the dude was clearly batshit crazy.
Maybe a little. But he did leave his entire fortune to fund these prizes.
Yeah, after his family tried to toss his will in the trash, they probably thought he was off his rocker.
They definitely weren't happy about it. But in the end, the Nobel Foundation was born. And the rest, as they say, is history.
So, this crazy bastard leaves a mountain of cash to reward the greatest benefit to mankind. How the hell do they even decide who deserves that?
Well, it's a long and complicated process. It all starts with nominations. Thousands of them.
From all the big brains in science.
Professors, past winners, scientific organizations, the whole 9 yards.
And then what? Some secret society of nerds picks the chosen one.
Not exactly a secret society, but the Nobel Committee is pretty exclusive. And yeah, they have the final say.
And then they lock everything away in a vault for 50 freaking years. Like some kind of fucked up time capsule. What's the point of that?
It's supposed to protect the integrity of the process, make sure the science stands up to scrutiny.
50 years of scrutiny. Some of these guys are dead by the time their work gets recognized.
It does happen.
Yeah.
But the Nobel Committee is all about recognizing discoveries that stand the test of time.
Tested by time. More like tested by death, am I right?
Well, it's not always that dramatic.
But it's got to sting a little, right? To spend your whole life chasing some groundbreaking discovery and then kick the bucket before you get the recognition you deserve.
It does raise some interesting questions about how we value scientific contributions.
So let's say you're one of the lucky bastards who makes it through this whole Nobel gauntlet. What's the payoff? Are we talking Scrooge McDuck levels of wealth here?
Not exactly. The cash prize varies, depending on the Nobel Foundation's investments.
So one year you're buying a private island, and the next you're clipping coupons.
More like funding your next research project or paying off some student loans. But let's be real, the money isn't the main attraction here.
Right, it's all about the bragging rights. The Nobel Prize is like the ultimate science flex.
It's a validation of your work, a recognition of your contribution to humanity's understanding of the universe.
Okay, so you get to stroke your ego for a while. But what about the tangible shit? The metal, for example. Is it solid gold, encrusted with diamonds?
It's 18-karat green gold plated with 24-karat gold. Not bad.
So no diamonds. Bummer. But at least it's got some weight to it. And what about the diploma? Is it just some standard issue certificate?
Nope, each diploma is a custom-made piece of art, designed by Swedish artists and calligraphers. Pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. All right, so you've got the bling, you've got the fancy paperwork. Now let's talk about the ceremony itself. Is it like some stuffy, boring-ass event? Or do they let loose and party like rock stars?
It's a formal affair, for sure, held at the Stockholm Concert Hall on December 10th.
December 10th. Isn't that like the anniversary of Alfred Nobel's death?
It is.
So they celebrate these groundbreaking discoveries on the dude's death day. That's pretty morbid, man.
Maybe a little, but it adds to the gravitas of the occasion. You know, you've got royalty there. The King of Sweden himself presents the awards.
Shit, the king. No pressure or anything. I'd probably trip and fall flat on my face if I had to walk up there and accept an award from some king.
I think most people would be a little nervous.
Okay, enough about the pomp and circumstance. Let's talk about the actual science here. What kind of discoveries are we talking about? Is it like inventing a better toaster oven or figuring out why socks always disappear in the dryer?
A bit more significant than that. The Nobel Prize in Physics is awarded for discoveries that fundamentally change our understanding of the universe.
Okay, so no Nobel Prize for laundry-related mysteries. Got it. But what are we talking about then? Like, what kind of discovery would make these Nobel folks cream their pants?
Discoveries that challenge the very fabric of reality. Think Einstein's theory of relativity. Marie Curie's work on radioactivity.
Stuff that makes your brain melt, right?
Pretty much. These are the game changers, the paradigm shifters. Einstein, for example, completely revolutionized our understanding of space and time.
Yeah, the dude basically said, time and space are all relative, it's all bendy and wibbly-wobbly.
And his theories had a profound impact on the development of technologies like GPS and nuclear energy.
So Einstein was a total badass, no doubt about it. What about Marie Curie? What made her work on radioactivity so revolutionary?
She opened up a whole new realm of physics, exploring the invisible world of atoms and subatomic particles. And she did it at a time when women in science were practically non-existent.
So not only was she a brilliant scientist, but she was also breaking down barriers for women in STEM. Double badass points for Marie Curie.
Absolutely, she was a true pioneer.
Okay, but even with all these brilliant minds on the Nobel Committee, I bet there's still some controversy, right? Like arguments over who really deserves the prize?
Oh yeah, definitely. The history of the Nobel Prize is full of debates and disagreements. Sometimes it takes years, even decades, for the scientific community to fully grasp the significance of a discovery.
So even in the world of science, there's drama and politics.
It's human nature, I guess.
So let's say for a minute that you were on the Nobel Committee. What kind of discovery would make you jump out of your chair and yell, Nobel Prize?
Damn, that's a tough one. There's so much out there, you know?
All right.
So many areas of physics where we could have a major breakthrough.
Yeah, it's like the universe is just begging us to unlock its secrets.
Exactly. But for me, I think the ultimate Nobel Prize-worthy discovery would be something that finally unifies those big bad boys of physics.
You mean like a theory that brings together quantum mechanics and general relativity? That would be some mind-blowing shit.
Exactly. A grand unified theory of everything. That's the holy grail, man. The ultimate physics flex.
Yeah, if I witnessed that shit, I'd probably shit myself right there.
Let's try to keep things clean, even in the face of scientific revolution, shall we?
Okay, no pants shitting during Nobel Prize acceptance speeches. Got it.
But seriously, this whole deep dive's got me thinking. If you could nominate anyone for the physics prize, dead or alive, who'd you pick? Anyone at all.
Oh, man, that's a tough one. There are so many brilliant minds out there, past and present.
Come on, I know you've got someone in mind. Spill the beans.
All right, all right. If I had to pick, I'd say Emmy Noether.
Emmy Noether. Okay, gotta admit, I'm drawing a blank here. Who the hell is Emmy Noether?
Emmy Noether was a German mathematician, early 20th century. She made some seriously groundbreaking contributions to theoretical physics. We're talking foundational stuff.
Lay it on me. What did she do? Her biggest contribution was something called Noether's theorem. Basically, it established a connection between symmetry and physical laws and the conservation of stuff like energy and momentum.
Hold up, slow down. You're losing me. Symmetry, conservation. What the fuck does any of that even mean?
Okay, think of it this way. The universe has certain rules, right? Like energy can't just disappear, it has to go somewhere. Noether's theorem basically says that these rules exist because of the universe's symmetry.
Symmetry, huh? So like the fact that the laws of physics are the same everywhere in the universe, that kind of symmetry.
Exactly. And her work had a huge impact on pretty much every field of physics. From classical mechanics to quantum field theory to general relativity, she was a total rock star.
So why didn't she win a Nobel Prize herself? Seems like she totally deserved one.
Well, remember, back then, women in science didn't exactly get the recognition they deserved.
Yeah, it was a total sausage fest back then.
Pretty much. Plus, sometimes it takes a while for the scientific community to really grasp the significance of a discovery. Noether's work was pretty abstract and theoretical, so it took a while for its impact to sink in.
So basically, she was a woman in a man's world, making discoveries that were ahead of her time. No wonder she got overlooked. Talk about bullshit.
Yeah. It's a shame, but at least we're talking about her now, right? Giving her some long overdue recognition.
Right on. Okay, before we wrap this up, one last question. We've talked about all the good stuff that comes with winning a Nobel Prize. But what about the downsides? Is there anything about winning this thing that might actually suck?
That's an interesting question. I imagine the sudden fame and attention could be overwhelming. Imagine going from working in your lab to having cameras shoved in your face every time you step outside.
Yeah, talk about a mind fuck. One day you're a regular scientist, the next you're like some kind of science celebrity. People probably expect you to be brilliant all the time, like some kind of physics god.
And there's the pressure to keep producing groundbreaking work. Like, people expect you to constantly be winning the science lottery.
Damn, that's a lot to live up to. So basically, you win the biggest prize in science, and then you're afraid of becoming a one-hit wonder. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for sure.
Okay, folks, that's a wrap on our deep dive into the crazy world of the Nobel Prize in Physics. We hope you learned some shit, laughed your asses off, and maybe even got inspired to go out there and make some groundbreaking discoveries of your own. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Peace out, you magnificent bastards.